Today, we're going to be talking about a creepy account on Instagram. You might have heard of this account called Smart Schoolboy 9.
Look at me.
Well, it's been going pretty viral on the internet, and it was suggested to me by a viewer over on Instagram. And once I looked into this, I just knew I had to talk about it because it's just really creepy. Some disturbing stuff, and it leaves a weird, eerie feeling within you once you discover everything in it. It makes you wonder how much of this is really going on out there on the internet. But for those of you that don't know, let's jump into this. Now, from what I've seen, a majority of all of what's going on here is happening over on Instagram. He does have other accounts elsewhere, but the main account where he actually shows himself is under Smart Schoolboy 9, to which has been deleted, as well as many of his other accounts, showing me that maybe he knows what he is doing is wrong and he's trying to hide the breadcrumbs, the trails that he's been leaving. And what he is doing, we'll get to that here in a moment. On this Instagram account, Smart Schoolboy 9, he says, "Account looked after by mom. I'm a mixed race schoolboy, age 10. Does this look like a 10-year-old to you? There's a lot of creepy stuff on this account, and we're going to get to it, but luckily there were people that archived a lot of this. They have over like 1,000 files on this stuff, over 1,500. And I've also been able to find some archives on YouTube where people have uploaded those as well. So the internet's been keeping track of what is going on here. From what I've seen, this started with a post on Reddit, and this post was made 5 months ago stating creepy accounts pretending to be kids. I came across a reel randomly, and it's led me down this weird rabbit hole of people using AI or dressing up pretending to go to school. They all seem to have high heels in them, and the high heels thing is one of his signature things that you'll see throughout all his accounts that he has. He likes to put the high heels on whatever these images, these drawings that he is constructing. Is it an age play thing or something sinister? And you'll see a common theme throughout all of these Instagram accounts that he has. This one's called Truth Sticks. It says, "Beautiful boy, an account looked after by me, a degree educated mother choosing to stay anonymous. Good original written work, advice, and compassion." Another one named girl.chloe12, Lisa 13, account monitored by parent. And it would make some really strange posts of just random children saying things like enjoying school and being in year 8 required a few days of becoming acquainted with the new schedules. And then just 3 months later, somebody made another post on Reddit talking about the same account, stating creepy Instagram profiles of people pretending to be kids, similar to Pipergate. I came across a post on Instagram where somebody mentioned these creepy Instagram accounts of people who are seemingly pretending to be kids. It reminds me of Pipergate in a way, and I feel like all of these pages are run by the same person because of the horrendous editing style that makes my eyes bleed. Many of the photos on this account are an edit of that goofy face on a real person's body, and a lot of the bodies are in suggestive poses, which makes me think that this is a definite account. It seems like Smart Schoolboy 9 and Stephanie Scully are following a handful of actual kids, or maybe it's just more impersonators doing a better job at hiding their true identity. I feel like the logical explanation is that Smart Schoolboy 9 is the poster's real identity, which is extremely uncanny to say the least. And the reaction from people after reading this was, as you would expect, what the actual these edits are so creepy, WTF, this really needs a detailed investigation. I know it's late at night, but that second account is creepier than any horror movie I've seen. Really effing weird, not really sure the reason behind it, maybe to groom kids or something, but it's really odd. So let's take a look at exactly what he was posting over on his Smart Schoolboy 9 account.
School bus.
And then on that same post in a carousel fashion, he would have a picture of just some high heel boots. That's weird, especially combined with him dressing up like a 9-year-old that's riding the school bus. The caption on this post reads, 3:30 on Monday afternoon, and I'm on the school bus going home. Schoolwork to do, and then it is Monday evening, children's club. And as you'll see in the patterns ahead, it's even in his writing. He does a lot of writing where he acts like he's the child or the mother, and has even been featured in some things under these aliases. In another post that he made, he role plays coming home from school.
School.
Apologies for the scene change. That's just how my videos are going to be. Because sometimes it takes me a few days to make these videos and the lighting's going to be all over the place, as well as my hair. My hair is wet right now. But anyways, back to the video. By the way, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button and leave a comment down below saying hello. So in that video, it's weird enough that he is acting like a child coming home from school, but I'm pretty sure he's wearing high heels, and he shows high heels in the beginning of the video, a little picture underneath. And then for some reason just switches to him running at night in the school uniform outside. If I seen that when I was outside, I'd be running back home real quick because that'd be freaking me out. But it's not just this video or a couple videos that he posted like this. He has multiple videos like this.
Sorry. Just a minute.
In these videos, he makes it pretty clear that he wants you to know that he likes high heels and he's wearing high heels, and he shows pictures quite often of them. And where it gets even weirder is when you come across some of the videos where he's doing some kind of weird tongue motion, which comes across very inappropriately. And it's important to mention that there's more to that video, but I'm not going to show it because it shows kids or a kid talking and it's blocked out and you can't see it, but you know it's a kid. And then directly after, he does this weird tongue motion, and he's got more videos like that on his page, or did have more videos like that until his page was removed or he deleted it. And among these weird videos was these weird collages of kids and art style that he would post onto his Instagram accounts, saying some pretty weird stuff. And that's how people were able to link all his accounts together, because his editing style, his collages, they were just so eccentric that no one else was doing them like that. And honestly, they were just overall creepy. And sometimes these collages, he would have kids in some very suggestive poses, and often having them in high heels as well. And they would all have this format here, with him posting specifically on Truth Sticks 11 this weird face over all of the photos that he had of children, which was a style that followed on his other accounts as well. And on these other accounts, he would often act like the mother, the guardian of these children, trying to call out other accounts, which were his accounts, by the way, for being predators. Now, I don't know if all the accounts he called out were his accounts, but I do know that some of them were. And a lot of people link this to him projecting. In one video in particular, you can see him calling out another account, changing his voice, trying to sound more female.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
If we link that back to his Smart Boy account where he was pretending to be a boy, I can see how people were seeing this as projection along with all the other evidence. The caption of this video read, "The man pretending to be a boy has many aliases, including," which by the way, from what I understand was his account too, "using photos of other boys in a desperate attempt to make former followers refollow him." But they then realized that no boy posts stuff like that. So in a weird way, it's like he wants to get caught here, leaving these breadcrumbs for people to follow. And as I said, this was a running theme on his account where he was posing as a mother, calling out these accounts, saying things like, beware the pervy man pretending to be a boy named, I don't know how to say that, as many other accounts, and his account named SOD of 12 is where he leaves clues that he thinks you won't decipher. The profile photo, where he pretends to be a named Jake, but is actually a fake, is of a topless boy aged 10 or 11. Before that, it was a topless boy as young as 6 or 7. So clearly here he's calling himself out. He wants to be known. He wants to get caught because something about people that do stuff like this, they want to be noticed for, I guess, their cleverness. I don't know, or their weirdness, or just whatever it is they are, they just can't contain it and they need the world to know. And he would add a lot of text to these captions calling out these people, saying things like, we must be clear, this man pretending to be a boy originally named himself and the page you see in the photo as Dean, and also saying that this is a scam as he wants to use their names and photos, but he does not show his own passport as it is a fake passport to nowhere. For a staggering 20 hours without stopping, he recently followed and then unfollowed genuine boys. They tell us that they notice something wrong with the man pretending to be a boy. And it's almost like he's talking about himself, calling out everything that he has done, knowing that it's wrong, and maybe by doing this too, he is somehow clearing himself from sins or making himself feel better. And the mom of the account would also make posts trying to make it look like it's a legit account, making this post of her son with a caption titled, after school at home, a boy wearing neat casual wear with a blue blazer, a little bit like the school blazer worn by the boy who is part of the mother and child team on this page, is receiving essential training. And to try to make it seem even more legit, he would post more photos of what looks like someone giving a presentation and someone accepting an award, but something just feels off about these photos, with a lot of people thinking that they were AI generated. And much like all the other accounts, they would eventually just become really creepy. And then you got posts like this with just the weirdest face, more weird face, more weird faces, whatever that is. Creepy. That's what that is. And it just seems to get worse and worse with the faces, smiles getting larger with the red lipstick. This one right here is really creepy too. And whatever that sound was is just worrisome and reminds me a lot of the noises that he makes with his mouth. Now, if the mouth noises and these suggestive poses that he is doing these drawings in wasn't enough proof for you to compel you to believe that this was done in a sinister way, in a suggestive, inappropriate way, then let me just tell you that there is video of him where it looks like he is allegedly doing something extremely inappropriate in the mirror, looking at himself when he is dressed like a schoolboy. And now I'm not going to show that because you don't need to see that, but trust me, it's there. I've seen it. And on one of his other accounts, he would go on to post this collage with this caption, and I'll just let you read that there. And yes, not only did he have this weird fantasy of dressing up like a schoolboy, he also dressed up like a school girl. On his Stephanie Stansfield account, he could be seen uploading photos of him in high heels, which could only lead one to believe that this was the Stephanie that he embodied and believed himself to be, where he took many photos of himself dressing up like this. And on this account, he would also post pictures of what seemed to be schools. And what's even more terrifying is that he was just straight up uploading pictures of children on some of these accounts, as well as children at playgrounds and pictures of playgrounds. And I think it's important to mention that he also had videos that kids had actually taken. I don't know if these were sent directly to him or he was just ripping them off the internet. but hopefully nothing evil happened there. And there was one particularly disturbing video where he can be seen chasing a kid. I'm not going to show that video either, but you just briefly see the kid running away from him, and it just gives you some really bad vibes. It gives you some bad feelings. And remember what I said earlier, that he has written stuff for articles and other various things? Well, someone on Reddit made a post saying that they discovered he sent a letter to a youth center. This post reads, "Tweet of card sent to youth center in 2018. This youth center made a post about a letter they received saying, "Look at this lovely handwritten card we received in the post this week from Stephanie, an 11-year-old girl living in Doncaster. It's great to hear Salmon's work is resonating with young people everywhere." And the reason why people believe this to be linked back to Smart Schoolboy is because they're using the name Stephanie, and the artwork is very similar to a lot of the collages and posts that he makes on his Instagram pages, and as well as the signature high heels. And as you can see, my name is Stephanie Mixed Race, which is something that he wrote in one of the bios on an Instagram account that he made too. And people also believe that he wrote a poem as Stephanie that was published in an article as well. And like these things usually do, it gets worse from there, because he's also been seen trying to interact with children in the comments, saying things like, "Do you like school? I do. It is good." Or, "You have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniform to school. It is nice, but casual isn't allowed." And it is quite hot here in the UK, as the month of June suddenly got warmer. And if you head over to the Smart Schoolboy 9 Reddit, I actually have a pretty cool section, the facts section, that can help with a lot of misinformation that might be out there if you have any questions on anything, such as, has he done anything illegal? Yes, the images he has posted across various accounts have all contained images that are considered to be CSAM in the United Kingdom. And it seems like this could have been going on since the 90s, with one Reddit user making a post saying, "Proof that Smart Schoolboy 9 has been dressing as a schoolboy since the 90s, and proof that he's had cops called on him." This is an archive of a Usenet post from 1999. It describes Smart Schoolboy going to the local Tesco and doing his usual antics. Also, proof that the cops have been called on him before, so they know who he is. It says, "Anyone who's been in the North Bridge Tesco on a weekday evening regularly will know what I'm talking about." At first, many months ago, I thought that it was just a released into community care weirdo with a severe skin complaint. However, last week, whilst working on the town center lighting, I saw it without its charcoal and blusher combination face covering, permed ginger hair, embarrassingly too small half-mask circulating stopping schoolboy's uniform, and ridiculously high girls' platform shoes. It was stood without makeup outside the Christchurch gents' toilets for hours on end. I saw the police twice asking it to move on without arresting it, and it continued to frequent the toilets. A couple weeks ago, me and the missus were going through the next checkout from this freak. As usual, most of the staff were taking their breaks early to see the show, security guards falling apart with laughter. And we heard the elderly female cashier ask it, while it's blatantly struggling to keep a straight face, "Do you have a club card?" It replied very seriously, "Of course not, I'm only 13. I found out from another Tesco employee that it gives the same reply to that question every time. The guy is about 30 years old and over 6 feet tall, platform shoes included, and apparently a locally well-known rent boy. The other comical thing is that it appears to have very tight rubber bands around his clothes, making it look a bit like a dressed up turkey. Weird." And that's not the only person to come out and say they've seen this person before. There's been about 3 other people on Reddit making posts about this. One being a Facebook comment on personal experiences with SSB. He was a very well-educated man and had previously told my late brother-in-law, who also also had problems that he planned to write a book. Other than the 2 girls' accusation, he was not accused of any other crime. I remember the school uniform man from Doncaster 30 years ago, and when he was in his 30s. He was half Indian and he did not paint his face white, he just looked unusual. He also had mental health problems. I realize it's not 1994 now, but the uniform in the photo there is completely different to the one he wore, which was always burgundy and well-fitting. He always carried a sandwich box but not a book bag, and was still living in Doncaster in 2003 when I left. He was accused by 2 teenage girls of asking inappropriate questions, not SA, and was found not guilty in court. Last I heard, he passed away in West Yorkshire 11 years ago. Another Reddit post reads, I'm pretty sure I encountered Smart School Boy 9 in public several months ago. They said that they were walking to the gym and that when they looked up from their phone, what they saw immediately put them on edge. I saw a person walking backwards slowly up the underpass. From what I could see, they were wearing ill-fitting clothing and longish type overcoat and what was quite obviously a wig. They said they created some distance from the person and that when they felt the distance was safe, they turned their head to get a look at them and to make sure they weren't going to follow them under the underpass. They said they got a good look at them, and the thing that drew their attention the most was that this person was wearing a lot of makeup. They had a pale white face and big red lips. The amount of makeup was almost like a theater or Halloween levels of over the top. I was so freaked out, I just looked away and hastily walked to the gym. I got home and told my housemates about it, and I legit thought about this a lot. I hate uncanny imagery, so this experience burned in my brain. And the final post I could find on this says that they seen him every day in Doncaster. I always walked at night alone and never had any issues until I saw this strange man, considerably overweight and messy makeup, wearing what appears to be a child's school uniform that barely fits and messy makeup at a children's park playing by himself. It was hard to see exactly what he looked like because of the strange lighting at night, but I could see enough of his face. This continued for a while. It was strange how he was there every night alone at a children's park doing whatever he was doing by himself. Eventually I had a friend drive me to and from my job since we worked the same hours, and I mentioned the man I saw to him, and he laughed and told me that guy is all over Doncaster and is a laughing stock. A lot of people know who he is and has reportedly gotten assaulted or sneaking on school grounds. Not sure if that's true, but just thought I'd put it out there. Now, it's important to note that these are just anecdotal, so we don't really know what is real here, much like with all the troll accounts that are popping up out of nowhere now, or supposedly his accounts, but the troll accounts, it's pretty clear that they're troll accounts. So these people could just be saying this stuff. But, you know, the one that makes the most sense is the one that was all the way in the 90s, because, you know, we can't go back in time unless that was just faked or something. And as of recently, there has been somebody that has come forward on Reddit telling people that he was using their body for some of those images. This Reddit post was made and they said that, "Hi, I have only now just been made aware of this Smart School Boy 9 situation. My name is Camille, and this man has used videos of me when I was 15 years old and used them to create an alias called Jonah Tang. If anyone has any evidence, please message me on Instagram. I will be reporting this situation to the police and identifying theft as well as P and CP intent, and I could use as much evidence as possible. Thank you." I can only imagine what that would even be like, to wake up one day and see that somebody's using old pictures of you when you were a child on the internet for CP. It's actually disgusting. And there's also a theory going around on Reddit that Smart School Boy was SA'd when he was younger, and that could be why he is acting out these weird things and doing some really creepy and bad stuff. But ultimately, I just hope that no one was physically hurt throughout this whole thing and everybody is safe. And to end this video, I will just leave you with some of his music that he's made, which is fairly disturbing as well.
I think I hear a running tram going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a little lemon and lime. Say Marianne, hey Steely Dan. I like the sound of that running tram. Running tram. Running tram. Taking the buses or the train, and the train and the bus, and the bus is the running tram. You didn't sold a soldier, you did not steal the sand. I think you know where this guitar is going. I'm back in time, back in time. Running train, running train, running train. Oh yeah.